What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, and I appreciate you guys spending some more of your time here with me today. So for those of you that have never tuned into the channel before, you won't notice, but for those of you guys that are coming back, you'll notice that the background has changed. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted some kind of cool gun wall or display, and I was finally at the point where I have a secure place and I had enough money that I was gonna pick something up. Now, I've been looking at a couple of different companies that do that kind of commercial gun wall stuff, and some of the prices on them were just absolutely outrageous. So when I was at SHOT Show, I got in touch with Hold Up Displays. I was able to finally see this product in person, and there are several gun stores around me that do use Hold Up Displays product, but you never really get to see it, put your hands on it in a way that can kind of tell you what the quality of the product is. So like I said, I reached out to Hold Up Displays, and I was actually gonna purchase this product, but they were nice enough to send it to the channel for free. So thank you very much, Hold Up Displays. I really do appreciate you working with me. Now, for those of you guys out there that are into something like this, you probably have seen Hold Up Displays stuff over the past couple years. They make a ton of like safe storage solution, like pistol hangers or like display things that you can use. I've got several of them that I keep, you know, stuff separated in the safe with, whether it's slides or different lowers that I'm working on at the time. Because I don't want to just have to throw stuff on shelves in there. And like I said, I was gonna purchase this product, but when they said they would send it to me for free, I was like, yeah, okay. So just because I get something for free doesn't mean it's gonna get a good review. And here's how I look at things when it comes to reviews. When someone is sending you something for free, they may or may not have the expectation that they're gonna get a good review. I tell everybody up front, it's up to the product. The product is good, it'll get a good review. If it's mediocre, get a mediocre review. If it's bad, I'm gonna tell the viewers that. But on the other side, this is how I look at it. You already sent me the product, so I'm not sending it back to you. So if it's bad, I just won't use it. But since you can see that it's hanging on my wall and I put holes in my wall to put it there, it's a good product. There was one or two things that I did notice about it, but it was kind of a mistake on how I had actually put the hangers in there, because there are these little retaining clips that you put over the base to stabilize everything in there. So what I wanna do is go ahead and I'll roll through the actual install video for those of you guys that are interested. If not, you can go ahead and go past that and get my final opinion on this Hold Up Displays. I will leave links for everything that you see here down below. Very basic install here. You need a hand drill, a pencil, a tape measure, a stud finder, and a level. You can get away with using a shorter than a 4-foot level on this one, but you can honestly get away without using a level at all. You just have to make sure you measure from the ceiling down and from the floor up so you keep everything nice and square. It would also help you out if you guys taped it out on the wall, and that will give you a very good idea of what it's gonna look like and how big it's actually gonna be. So we'll go ahead, roll in that install video right now, and then we'll come back and I'll give you guys my final opinion. One of the first things you guys are gonna need to bust out is a good stud finder and a pencil. You're gonna wanna mark the wall. You're gonna wanna find the first stud from where you think you're gonna wanna start your wall, and you're gonna wanna mark it all the way through where you think your wall is gonna end. I would say give yourself about 6 to 8 inches both directions from where you really think you want it, in case you can't get the studs to line up, or if you do some measurements from wall to wall and kind of want a more even look. You always want to have those markings in place because you can just erase them or wipe them off later once we get into this. So if you've never used a stud finder before, it's very simple. I will show you up close on the wall how to do this. And like I said, we're gonna mark this all the way across. I'm gonna do about 5 feet. The wall itself is about 4 feet wide. I wanna get enough marking so I know that I'm gonna have studs either direction that I go, if I decide to move this to kind of make it more aesthetically pleasing on the wall that it's actually going on. Okay guys, so one of the first things you're gonna need to do is go ahead and break out the stud finder. Now, as you can see on this one that I have, it's got the stud and then a deep scan. It's also gonna tell you if you have any electrical issues going on these walls. Now, typically electrical stuff is on the side of the stud, but you definitely wanna make sure that you're not getting into any of that. So all you're gonna do is figure out where you wanna start. You're gonna go ahead, make sure your stud finder's on, and you're gonna roll it across until you start finding the studs. Now my specific one, you can see here, gives me a little laser, and I've already pre-marked that side of the stud. So we'll start it over. You're gonna run across. You'd mark with a pencil on that arrow, and then come back to mark this side of the stud as well. And you can see I have pre-marked those. And then you're gonna continue this all the way across the wall. Now, once you mark these, we'll go ahead and we'll get a level across here, and we're gonna continue to mark them all the way down. So guys, it's very important that as you mark these studs, like I said, you wanna mark all the way across the wall, and you wanna mark all the way down to the baseboard. Even though you're probably not gonna go that far, that's going to help you. Because what we're gonna do later is we're gonna measure with a measuring tape up off the bottom of the wall and kind of place the first slat to where we might think we want the bottom of this wall to be. Now you have to remember the dimensions of the wall that you purchased because they all are different. The specific one that I have is 4 feet wide and it's approximately 3 feet tall. So I know whatever section of the wall that I pick, no matter where it is, I'm gonna have about 36 inches in height on this wall setup. Now you may buy more or less, you may just buy 2 slats to hang pistols on. You have to figure out those measurements for yourself, but it's always a good rule of thumb to measure from the ceiling down and from the baseboard up to make sure that you are perfectly level on that first set, because that first set is going to determine the rest of them and how they actually look on the wall and if you're level and square. Now, once you guys have all of your studs marked all the way down the wall and a little bit wider than what the wall actually is, you're going to want to go ahead and grab a tape measure and start to measure where you think you want to put that first slat and then go up from there. Most people are probably going to start off in that 36 to 40 inch range because the wall, like I said, is about 30 inches tall. So if you really want to figure out a great way to figure out how it's going to look on your wall, get yourself some blue painter's tape, do the measurements from the baseboard up, and then you can actually tape out on the wall to see what it's going to look like. Stand back, take a look, and see if you need to adjust that height up, down, or maybe adjust the wall left or right. So we'll go ahead, we'll get started on that. And then I'm just gonna fast forward through me drilling and putting all the screws in the studs so you guys don't have to watch that as I do every one. The one thing that you guys do want to remember is when you're laying these, how they actually go in there. Now this groove right here on the top, that should be facing up, and this portion right here should be facing down. Because as you stack these are going to stack on top of each other up and up, and that bottom groove is what fits in here and gives it stability and strength. So let's go ahead and get this thing screwed into the wall. All right, guys, so it turned out really well. As you guys can see, you can fit a ton of stuff on there. Very sturdy. I do like it quite a bit. So we'll go ahead, we'll get back into the desk, we'll finish this up. Really had no issues with it, minus that first time I went to go with the drill bit and I hit a drywall screw right off the bat, so I had to adjust it a little higher, which is why you saw me kept measuring out where the studs were, because I had to move it up about a ½ inch just to miss that drywall screw if they screwed it at an angle. So we'll get back into the desk, guys, and we'll finish this review up. So in all, guys, I really do think this is an exceptional product, especially for the value out there. Other products that I was looking at with the same amount of display, the same amount of holders, some of them were up around $800. And granted, they were more of like an industrial look product, but I just couldn't bring myself to spend that kind of money. So when I kind of made my decision after SHOT Show and being able to see all this stuff in person, I did get a hold to hold up displays, and I was just gonna ask them to see if I could get a coupon code for you guys to release to you once I did a review on the product. They were actually nice enough, like I said, to just send the whole thing out for free, which was absolutely awesome of them. I do think the product is very high quality, especially for what you're paying for it, like I said. I don't think you can go wrong with it. The one thing is on the rifle holders, as you can see, I've got a ton of ARs. So I got 2 ARs fully kitted, an AR-10 with a scope, 2 shotguns, and a 10-22 with a full rail and an optic on it. So that is a lot of weight on there. The one thing I would make sure that you guys do is on the shelf and on the rifle holder, I've seen some people out there that they put it at the lowest lip and then a little bit of the bottom edge of the actual attachment point is hanging off. You definitely want both of those attachment points touching the metal slat wall. If not, you do get a little bow in there. The only other thing that's kind of a little bit of an issue is if you really want to make those things super solid and not have any movability in them, you can screw the retaining portion of the display holder in there. That's not something I wanted to do, so I just used the provided clips, and I found that that's enough to hold all of those pistols up there. So guys, I think it's good stuff. I will leave links for everything down below for you. I really appreciate you spending some more of your time with me here today. And again, thank you, Hold Up Displays, for helping out the channel. Stay safe, stay ready, guys. Get out on the range, and I will see you on the next one.